I thought of, because I was like, well, what is it? Where do we need to start for this person to consider this? And I honestly think like the motivations and the emotional triggers are the most important parts.
Yeah.
Like, because you're not gonna put yourself through something like that for even if it is a short period of time, unless you have like these really like deep seated underlying motivations to get after it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's hard.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what are they? And it's like, you've got to be able to unpack that. It's like, you've got to want it, man. Like, you've got to be like this particular individual I was working with. He was just like so frustrated.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, I'm over it. I've tried so many things. Like, I've done so many different things for so many different people. And I just like kind of narrowed it down to like the nutrition side of it was every person that that he consulted with, like, just wasn't doubling down on the nutrition.
Yeah.
Because, like, I didn't do anything special.
Yeah.
I was just like, you're this much weight. Like, I just set his macros off, like, what fat loss would look like at his target weight.
Yep.
And, like, his protein and stuff at his target weight.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, have at it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and he just, like, granted, it did not deviate.
Yeah.
Like, ever.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Which is also, like, just really makes you think when the progress slows.
It's not working.
When the progress slows down, it's like, are you just getting a little bit complacent?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you got a bit of results and then you maybe like just deviated from the plan a little bit and you still got results.
Yeah.
So then you deviate a little bit more, you know, right?
We've all done it.
I don't know what's happening. It's like, stick to the fucking plan.
Yeah,
and see what happens.
That post-photo shoot conversation we were having, like, I'm getting away with it until you're not.
You get away with it until you don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, is there a scenario when does fast fat loss make sense? What would you need to see?
Can I answer the opposite question?
Go for
When should you not do it?
I feel like what we want to do is that people who are listening, like, obviously they're all going to want to be like, well, you've done this, you know, amazing job with your client and I've done this amazing job with mine. So they're like, well, this can happen. But it's like, there needs to be a profile. Because
I think the profile for who can is way bigger than the person who can't, and the internet has decided over the last 10 years that because of the small minority of people who can't, that no one should. And that is just someone who's been chronically trying, chronically dieting for an extended period of time and has some kind of emotional, I don't want to say mental health, but like some kind of negative connection with dieting at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you've been jumping into 1,200 calories, jumping out, jumping in, jumping out for a year, fast fat loss is not for you. You need a sustained 10 to 20% deficit, learn to eat, get your shit together, then we can look at fast fat loss. Everyone else, like, that's tried keto for a week and that's tried fucking going to the gym 18 times a week and has tried, like, you just need a fucking plan that you can stick to. So for everyone outside of that window, fucking go for time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think if you're one of those people where, like, you've got a good relationship with dieting and food, like, and you have a good relationship with the scale, I think they're the things that
Yeah, even the good relationship with diet and food, though. It's really hard to define.
Yeah, I get ya.
Like, I got mates that are like, once a year, push that, like, fuck, it's just, they put the dress shirt on for the wedding.
Yeah.
Fuck, this fits a little bit different than it did last time. Like that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And it's like, they show up for a few weeks and they kind of fall off the wagon and whatever, because the plan's just not where it needs to be. The coaching support's not where it needs to be and the real drive isn't there.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, the people I'm thinking of, they don't necessarily have a good relationship with food. Like, they have a hard day at work, they come home and eat a bag of Doritos.
Yeah.
That's like, because people think that like, oh, you'll get that too with check-ins. People will say, like, I binged on the weekend. Like, okay, did you binge? Like, so you couldn't restrain yourself from eating the food you were eating.
You couldn't stop and get
You probably cried when you were done, and the next day you actually considered, like, purging because you were so disgusted in yourself. Or did you just eat too much?
Yeah,
it's like, I just ate too much. It's like, okay, so you overate and you let this reward short-term be bigger than the reward long-term. Yeah. Let's deal with that.
Yeah, fab. Yeah, that's fair. I guess, like, there's still a degree of self-control that has to happen, though, right? Because you're going to be in a scenario where, like, like it's not a walk in the park. Like no one gets to achieve results like that in a short period of time without having that control to be like, well, this is the outcome is so overbearing that like everything else that happens in that short window like just doesn't like takes a backward seat.
Yeah.
So I think like that would be the profile that I'm looking for. Like, if I was to sum it down, like what I would look for, I'm looking for someone who's fucking hungry, but not like, but like,
not eating enough.
Yeah, it's like I'm
keen,
hungry
man.
for the outcome.
Yeah.
Like you can just feel it. You're just like, this person has had enough.
Yeah.
And it's like if you do what we plan out for you, like you will crush it. And I feel like the common denominator with all of those people is that it's just like they've either been there before and they've had enough of being where they are now and know they're like better, like they can hold themselves to a higher standard, or they're just so fucking frustrated for being in the same scenario and giving it so much effort that they're just like, I'll literally do anything.
Yeah, and I think there's one other parallel that probably overlaps a little bit, is just a person that like has stopped believing it's possible for them.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's not so much that you won't do it, but you've got 4 weeks. So like people that came through that challenge, I know have been in body composition cycles for years.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is just never going to happen. And I'm like, just fucking do this for 4 weeks. I will guarantee you'll lose 4 centimeters off your waist. And if you don't, I'll coach you for free.
Yeah.
And it's like the buy-in level of like, he's so certain that this is going to happen. And then you see week 1's 2 centimeters. Week 3, it's like, oh, fuck. Some of them did the 4 centimeters in a week and a half.
Yeah.
And it's like, they needed that.
Yeah.
They didn't need 2 weeks at maintenance, let's find out to go slow and now we'll put you in a 10% linear, blah, blah. Like they didn't need that.
Yeah.
They're like, this can happen for you.
Yeah, let me
show you.
Let's get it. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about the things that people are scared of.
Yep.
Because like what can go wrong?
Metabolic damage.
Well, yeah. So I feel that for that to be prominent, you would have to consider what you're doing then as a lifestyle.
Correct. Yeah.
Like, because if the goal is fast, it's like, then it's like short and sharp, right? So the things that people are concerned about, the magnitude of them, like the effect of them in that time frame is either going to be nil or really insignificant and very, very reversible.
Yeah.
What else do people talk about?
So the weight regain's a big one.
Yeah.
If you do the extreme diet, you're just going to gain it all back. You're going to lose muscle while you do it. And then that means you're going to be a worse, like, I'm not going to lie, we sold this narrative for 5 years.
Yeah. 100%.
So that would be the biggest thing. It's like if I do an extreme approach, then I'm just going to put all the weight back on and look and be even worse because I'll lose muscle.
Yeah. And that's, there you go. So that's the other thing I had here is like the lack of, lack of muscle retention.
Yeah.
Is the thing that people are worried about, right? So if you like the only way to lose muscle is if you're not engaging in a progressive strength training program and you're not having adequate amounts of protein and everything is really excessive from an overactivity perspective, like an angle. So we're always going to lean into like the program still being progressive. Like my guys are still training to lift more every week. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, right? And we're still doing adequate amounts of training. Like they do more weight training than anything else, like, through over the week. It's just do a little bit of walking. It's like, well, you can walk to work. It's like, is that considered, cardio? I don't know. But it's just like, I don't think that if you lose a substantial amount of muscle in that time frame, it's like you are either not eating enough protein or your program needs a little bit of a work, or your mentality towards your program needs a little bit of work too, right?
Yeah, how hard you're training. The only other, I guess, layer would be sleep and stress.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Like I've got a few like postpartums at the moment, just like trying to get them to hang on to muscle. It's fuck. So I have to sleep in 5 hours a night. Stressed as shit. It's like it's hard.
Yeah. Isn't it such a wild thing? It's like when you're stressed and tired, like your body's just like, use the muscle.
Yeah. Be less. Just like be smaller and demand less.
Yeah.
Because we can't recover.
Crazy, right?
So that's the only other caveat I would say to that. But I think most people that are listening and going like, I want to lose 5 to 10 kilos quickly, like in a 6 to 12 week period.
Yeah.
They're not, like you're talking about my guys train for performance. Like when you say my guys, it's like people that have been training 3, 4, 5 years with a good program, with good intensity, with good technique, with good, I would hazard a guess most people that are so frustrated that they can't get this 5 to 10 kilos off, aren't training well, probably don't have a program, if at all it's mid. The intensity is not there and the effort's not there. Every single person that went through that 4-week challenge I did improved in performance.
Yeah.
Because the training model they had before sucked. So you get a better training model than what you've had because you're probably not training to the capacity because you're frustrated, you're not getting the results. So you're just kind of like, you're not going to be sending it every day in the gym if you're not getting anywhere. It doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
So then you align this higher protein than probably you've ever experienced, a better program, put those two things together. In my experience, it goes the other way.
Yeah. And I feel like you can make a self-fulfilling prophecy again, like, if you're one of those people that's against the fast fat loss model, like you can just paint this picture that like all of these nasty things are going to happen. So what does that do? It carries down to the lifter, right? So they're just like, well, I know this is going to happen, and I know that I'm going to do this, and I know I'm going to be weak, and I know, So you're like, well, okay, like you kind of lost the battle walking into the gym already because you're just like, well, all these things are supposed to happen to me, so they're going to. Yeah. Like if you flip it the other way, and you're like, I'm going to go in here and lift as much as I can and train as hard as I possibly could, and yada yada yada. It's like, which mentality serves you better, right? Yeah. Like, of course, it's going to be the one where you're like taking a progressive element to everything that you do. So
it's becoming and like that's, I guess, the goal for us as coaches always, regardless of who we're working with, is body transformation. So it's not just weight loss. It's not just whatever. It's like body transformation. Yeah, absolutely. And to do that, you need to be deliberate to create a full physique transformation where there's muscle where you want muscle, there's less fat where you want less fat. Yeah. Off you go.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. And we're killing this. So now I'm thinking, how do we do this? And how do we do it properly? Right. So let's go top to bottom. It's like, I know we've kind of like weaved in some of these things already, but we're going to go top to bottom right now on how to do it. So it's like, who does it suit? Like, is it someone who is a little bit leaner, do you think? Or does it matter? Like, how do you paint the picture of like the person that you're like, cool, we're going to do this with? Or does it just happen?
I don't you mentioned like how much they want to lose. I don't think that matters. Like rate of loss is rate of loss. Yeah. So who am I doing this for?
So for the people, like, let's say, is it only for someone like myself who, is maybe has a little bit to lose, or is it, can anyone do it? Can I be 100%? Can I be 35% body fat? Yeah, and take benefit of it as well.
Yeah, it'll work better for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
The higher your body fat levels, it'll work faster. And then I would say psychologically, you've probably tried more things and are more frustrated. So that instantaneous reward of week 2, this happened already, gives you the momentum. Whereas if you're kind of in shape, it's like, I just need to stick to this for 12 weeks. I've done it before. Like, it's a little bit frustrating. But if you kind of just can't fucking get to what we would say in shape, what that person's thinking is in shape, and you get that first 6 weeks, this actually happened, it's actually way more beneficial for that person. And you get the recomp change where you look better, you feel like, I don't want to even use the word toned, but that's what you feel. It's like I'm harder, I feel firmer, and I'm more athletic, and I look better in the mirror, and my clothes fit better, and like all of a sudden, like my shoulders are like holding out a shirt and shit like that. And how many times have you got like working with more beginner lifters, and you like the baby tricep? Yeah. The baby tricep's the one that like the girl catches it in the mirror.
Yeah, because the arms are leaner.
Baby tricep. Yeah. It's like that. Those things coming together are so motivating for someone at that end of the spectrum. And then if you and I are going to be graceful and say 15% body fat, it's like that fast fat loss still works because you've still got the training and the habits and the muscle and all of that behind it. And you don't necessarily... and the benefit of that side is you can see it more.
Yeah, I agree. Is there a specific timeline you ever look for? or you like ride it till they die?
Yeah.
You're gonna ride it till they die?
Not until they die, but like
you get some pushback, yeah. Like, and you'll get some pushback.
It's usually behavior.
Yeah, like when we say pushback, like they're not gonna like literally be like, I'm not doing this anymore.
No, like they just don't.
Compliance falls off a little bit, or there's like, you know, a significant drop in training performance or something. Like you'll pick up on like feedback,
tone in the check-ins, and mood, all that kind of shit.
I feel I'm kind of the same philosophy. Like I'll do it. It's funny, like with the ones that have lots of body fat to lose, like I'll do it that way. The ones that are a little bit leaner, like I'll just set a timeline because I'm, like I feel like when you're working with finer variables, like the leaner you get, like you set all those timelines and targets, and everything is like really, really micromanaged. Like if you have someone who's like maybe 30% body fat and is just starting out on their journey or stuff, like that micro, like kind of management isn't quite there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're not managing absolutely everything, and they don't have to.
Need to, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm of the same philosophy. I think around 6 to 12 weeks, if we were to put a window on it, would be about that. And I think anything beyond that, like it's probably just a little bit too long, like kind of, turning into a lifestyle thing. And I think that there needs
That's
to be,
where issues come.
Yeah, well, there needs to be periods where you're like, hey, like you have to understand that like we will need to eat more and have more energy, and this is what we're doing now isn't a lifestyle, kind of a trait of behaviors.
I'll often even like set my diet, like those hard cuts for my clients, and set it in the app as like it's 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So then I remember it comes up, it's like, oh, you need a nutrition update. What's adherence been like for the 6 week? What's the results been like? What's the like temperament been like? How is everything kind of going? And I'll just say to them like, how are you doing? Like one of my girls at the moment, we've been in a deficit solid since December.
Yeah.
Crushing it. Like photos side by side are wild. And then she's like, oh, my birthday's on the 17th. Can we keep going?
Yeah.
And our break was due the 1st of the month. I'm like,
it's perfect.
Have you still got it? Like, can you do this for another 3 weeks? She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let's fucking go. I'm like, you need to give me 3 weeks on the other side of it. But yes, let's go.
Yeah, I think that transparency is super important. It's just knowing, like having the break, you kind of just throw it out into the future though.
Yeah.
Because you're like, hey, this needs to happen.
Yeah.
And we're going to set it. And then you go like, are you ready? Or they're like, I can keep going. Like, I think that transparency is super important. Yeah. And I think that's why people fall off is because there's no break.
Yeah.
So there's no end point. Or the end point is like the end of the
total journey,
the program or the transformation challenge or whatever it is that they do, right? So along the way though, they're not learning that everything they're doing now, there has to be like an element of that forever.
Yeah, I feel like if you can get a client through cut, maintenance, if you can get through that cycle with a person, their ability for the rest of their life to stay in shape and to avoid all the pitfalls that people talk about with fast fat loss is solved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you can say, this was fat loss, this was maintenance. See how you ate more food and you didn't get fat? And then we did it again, and then you did it again. It's like that prevents... So the issue with like people will shit on forever, 6, 8, 12 weeks. You don't need another 12-week challenge. Like, yeah, you fucking might. What you don't need is the 12-week fucking on the other side.
Yeah, it's almost like...
Where it's just like, diet's done, see ya. Like...
Yeah. It's almost like you need a 20-week challenge.
Yeah.
But within the 20-week challenge is...
12 of it's dieting. 16 of it's dieting.
Yeah, that's it. It's like 16 of it dieting split into 2 8-week blocks, and then you spend 2 weeks at maintenance.
Yeah.
So you get to understand like periodization, essentially, of your nutrition.
Being in an active fat loss phase is not the same as... That's not what you have to eat for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And then just hammering yourself and not learning anything and not being able to sustain what you're doing and then having nothing on the other side of that. Of course, that's a recipe for disaster, right?
Yeah.
Like, and like to fairness to us, that's what we've hammered. Like, that's what we've shat on. Like, we've never shat, like we won like how many 12-week challenges? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when Good Life were doing those.
And how many of them did we start the next challenge leaner than their after photo of the previous one?
That's what I was going to say, like continuing on. Yeah. And that's the next, like just touching on like the training and the cardio side of things, like programs that build muscle, keep muscle, having a progressive element to your training. So you should always be trying to lift more or the same. And then your cardio element is based on who's in front of you. If they're active, they probably don't need a lot because they're going to move a lot during the day. You may be able to kind of add a little bit of extra steps and stuff to their day, and that's it. Some people are going to need to do a little bit more cardio, and that's like, no one can say to you, like, you have to do half an hour a day or whatever.
Yeah, or X amount of steps.
But you're going to need to do some form of active component to on top of your resistance training.